George had always been proud of his legs. In his younger days, he'd raced bicycles through winding country roads, hiked steep trails with a heavy pack, and danced, really danced, at weddings, reunions, and on random Tuesday nights in the kitchen. But now, at 78, he felt it. The wobble. The subtle sway in his knees when he stood up from his recliner. The hesitation in his step when climbing stairs. The invisible drag in his thighs when walking across the grocery store parking lot. He noticed it first while gardening, a slight tremble when he tried to stand up from kneeling. Then again during church, when he rose too quickly and had to steady himself on the pew. At first, he told himself it was just stiffness, age, no big deal. But when he tripped on a sidewalk crack and barely caught himself from falling face first into traffic, he knew something was changing. At his next checkup, he asked his doctor, "What's going on with my legs?" The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. Leg weakness is often the first physical sign of aging. You lose muscle mass naturally starting in your 30s, and by the time you're in your 70s or 80s, unless you fight back, it shows up in the legs first. That's your foundation. Your balance, your independence, all of it starts there. George swallowed. "So what do I do? Start lifting weights?" "That can help," the doctor said, "but nutrition plays a huge role. Eat the right foods, and you can slow the loss, even regain some strength. It's not just about protein, it's specific nutrients that target muscle preservation, circulation, and inflammation." George went home with a list, determined not to end up using a walker before he had to. He wrote across a clean sheet of paper, "6 foods to keep my legs strong," and he began his experiment. Stir 1. Salmon. It started with a trip to the fish counter. George had always liked salmon, but never cooked it at home. But his doctor had explained that omega-3 fatty acids in salmon could help reduce inflammation and preserve muscle as the body aged. He grilled a fillet with lemon and olive oil. It was simple, delicious. And after a week of eating it twice, he noticed something small but surprising. Less soreness after walking, and his knees didn't ache in the morning. He called his friend Henry and said, "I think salmon's giving me back my knees." Henry laughed. "Only you would say that, like it's a miracle." But to George it was. 2. Spinach. Next came spinach. Rich in magnesium and potassium, spinach helps muscles contract properly and reduces cramping. George started tossing it into his morning eggs and blending it into smoothies with banana and yogurt. It wasn't flashy, but after 2 weeks, he realized he was waking up without the heavy, stiff-legged feeling that usually clung to him until noon. His energy felt more stable, and he didn't have to sit down so often. More importantly, he started trusting his legs again. Those first few steps after getting out of bed were less cautious. Ma 3. Greek yogurt. George had always liked ice cream more than yogurt, but his doctor's words echoed, "You need more protein than you think, especially high-quality sources with leucine." Greek yogurt fit the bill. It had more protein per serving than most other dairy options, and it was easy on the stomach. He started having it after his afternoon walks, with berries, nuts, and honey. Within a month, George's balance felt steadier. He noticed himself walking a bit faster, even tackling the stairs without gripping the rail as tightly. His doctor confirmed he was gaining muscle back, slowly but measurably. For years, George had limited eggs because of cholesterol worries. But now, he learned they were a powerhouse of amino acids, vitamin D, and choline, all crucial for muscle maintenance and nerve function. He returned to his breakfast roots, 2 scrambled eggs with spinach and tomatoes, whole grain toast on the side. He felt sharper, steadier. Even his mood improved. There was something about eating a hearty, warm breakfast that made the day feel more doable. 5. Beets were the wild card. He'd never liked them, too earthy. But they were high in nitrates, which improved blood flow and oxygen delivery to muscles. He started roasting them with olive oil and garlic, then dicing them into salads. Slowly, he got used to the taste. After about 6 weeks, George noticed something strange. He could walk farther without getting winded. His afternoon walks turned into mini hikes. One day, he made it all the way to the end of the park trail. Well, something he hadn't done in over a year. 6. Lentils. The last addition to his list was lentils, high in plant-based protein, iron, and fiber. Iron mattered more than he realized. Low iron can mean less oxygen in the blood, leading to fatigue and weakness, especially in the legs. George made big pots of lentil soup, sometimes with carrots and onions, sometimes with leftover chicken. He froze batches, made it easy, and it worked. His legs felt less heavy, less like burdens he had to carry, and more like tools that could still take him where he wanted to go. By spring, George was a different man. He hadn't turned into a marathon runner or a bodybuilder, but he had strength again. He could bend and lift without wincing. He could rise from a chair without pushing off with both hands. He walked faster. He stood taller. At his next checkup, the doctor smiled. "What'd you do?" "Grocery shopping," George said, "and cooking, every week." "You were right. My legs were the first to go, but I'm not letting them go without a fight." The doctor leaned back in her chair. "You'll probably avoid the walker for years, maybe forever." That afternoon, George passed a younger man, maybe 65, shuffling slowly across the sidewalk, gripping a cane. He paused, leaned in, and said, "Don't wait till it's too late. Your legs go first, but you can get them back. Just start with your fork." The man looked confused, but George just smiled and kept walking, faster than he had in years.